150, the first of the big TV races on the Sandown card, is the Coral Challenge, a Group 3 sprint over the 5 furlong trip. And Rob, Batash's favourite.
Yeah, sure is. After his Sandown win, we're money back in the next 3 home, presuming he goes off favourite and wins. So we're 11-4 about Batash. It's 9-2 Gold Dream and Muthmir, 6-1 Alpha Delfini, 7-1 about Tis Marvellous, 12's Line of Reason, and 14's Bar.
Right, Kills, you go first. You're going to go for an oldie or a new one?
No. I mean, I was very impressed with Batash when he won the Scurry last month. That was a real sort of eye-opener. He'd always threatened to be really good, but he just it was such a tearaway. But even though he was keen, he wasn't as keen as he was last year out of him being gelded, and he absolutely bolted up, and he did it from stall 9, which is normally the wrong place to be. Now, I'm a little bit concerned. I think, the 11-4 is about as short as I want to be. Like, he was 11-2 in the anti-post markets earlier in the week, which was a lovely price. He's got stall 2 this time. I think, they may even decide, well, let's let him go, because that's what he did last year. He made the run in. And if he gets that rail, and you won't get an easy lead in a race like this, but if you get that rail, the way he picked up last time, I think he'll probably win, but he probably doesn't deserve to be as short as that. If there's no draw bias, which there normally is, then Alpha Delfini would probably be the one I would back against him. I think he ran a decent race at Royal Ascot, went 6th, and does like these strong run 5 furlongs.
DJ, what are you going to do? Back the favourite or take him on?
Well, I'm a fan of Batash. I actually tipped him up on this when he won at Sandown earlier on in the season, but the closer the race gets, the more I'm starting to fancy Tis Marvellous, because I just have a sneaky suspicion that these 3-year-old sprinters are well above average this year. Like, he was 4th to Blue Point and Harry Angel in the Pavilion Stakes, and then I thought he actually ran quite well in the Commonwealth Cup. When you look back at it again, like, he was basically upsides like 2 furlongs out, and he was smack bang in the middle in the heat of battle in probably the best race of the week at Royal Ascot, and he, like, it was there ready to attack. And I think he's got plenty of natural pace. He's drawn in stall 6 for Clive Cox, who certainly knows how to train sprinters. And I thought 8-1 was quite a big price about Tis Marvellous. I'd be willing to chance him.
Righto, Rob?
Yeah, Batash probably the one to beat. Obviously, the form was frank last week with Carapick winning, and I suppose he could end up a Group 1 sprinter at the end of the season. He's got a Group 1 entry. I thought the horse just below him, Kailang Rock, on a line through Fashion Queen, doesn't have an awful lot of ground to make up on Batash. Pretty consistent. And about 14th, Kylan Rock each way, but Batash definitely the one to beat.
Competitive handicap over the mile at 2.25. It's the Coral Challenge. And Rob, take us away with the latest from Paddy Power.
Okay, so as of now, we are 9-2 about Greenside. That's the market leader. 7-1 about Blair Horse and Naval Warfare. 8's George William. 10's Ian Hopkins and El Hammam. And 12's Bar.
Keels, away you go.
Now a wide draw at Sandown on the round course isn't totally insurmountable, but it is a disadvantage. And I think 7 of the last 10 winners of this race were drawn 6 or lower, and the last 5 were drawn 4 or lower. And you've got horses like Blair House drawn 16, Naval Warfare drawn 17, who are among the favourites. I'd imagine they will drift. It might not stop them winning, but Greenside's definitely the one to beat. He quickened up really nicely to win here last time. He had to wait for a gap, but once it came, he quickened up quite nicely. But I do think that George William, who's in stall 6, is still a horse well handicapped. He's run some really nice races this year. Won first time up, had a troubled run, went 4th to Banksy in the Spring Mile at Newbury, and then was 2nd to Fastnet Tempest in the Victoria Cup, doing all his best work late. He was on the wrong side. I think only 3 went over there in the Hunt Club. On the Wednesday of Royal Ascot. I think you can write that run off completely, and I think he's a fair price, George William.
George William for Kills. Who for you, David?
Greenside for me, Bruce. As Paul said there, course form, especially on the flat course at Sandown, it's kind of a funny enough track, especially when they turn into the home straight, and he did have to wait for a gap to open last time. I thought he'd go up more than £5 for that. I know the official winning distance was 1.25 lengths, but he put the race to bed in a couple of strides once he got to the front, and just thought he was that typical Henry Candy improver type. Like, he's a 6-year-old now. He's only had 8 races, which is hard to believe, but he's won half of them. And as Paul said, the draw is key here. Drawn in stall 2. I'd say Martin Harley will be able to get a nice bit of cover. He to me, there's not too many negatives at all. I do agree that George William could potentially be well handicapped, and I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. And Sandown might suit, but Greenside to me is rock solid.
Okay, Rob Katson, who do you fancy?
Yeah, I like Naval Warfare down at the bottom. On a hat-trick after winning his last two. He was pretty good at Leicester in his most recent start. He dominated from the front, and he won with it quite a bit in hand. So he's pretty progressive. I can't see him out of the frame. I think he could get things on his own way up front.
Quite interesting thing about him is he was taken out of the Britannia at Royal Ascot for his and his owner mate, bless him, got into the race as a reserve. So whether they thought, well, bless him was a much better horse than Naval Warfare. So I wonder whether they think he's got limitations or not.
And I suppose, Kills, if you're looking to make the running, that could offset a wide draw if you get out and crack on down there.
Getting out and getting across, it takes some energy to do that because you're a long way from the rail if you want to make the running.
When your first turn is that sort of kink halfway down the back,
exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, jolly good. 3 o'clock, the Coral Distaff, a listed race. Over a mile. And again, we've got some really competitive stuff tomorrow. It's hardly an odds-on favourite in sight in any of our featured races. And we're 11 of Orderfield here, aren't we, Rob?
We sure are. Paco's Angel tops the market. It's 7-2 then, about Queen of Time. We're 6 is Standing Rock and Tis But a Dream. 8 Pavilion and Dancing Breeze, and we're 12 Spar.
I think every punter has fancied at one point in their life just having one go standing on one of them little crates with a board at a racecourse shouting out stuff like 6 of Orderfield. Don't you fancy it, Kills? Don't you be any good as a racecourse bookmaker?
I doubt it. I once, I probably shouldn't admit to this, but I once ran a book years and years ago in a local boozer, and Phil Donaldson works on our ground desk. He came in, it was Oaks Day, and his missus came in. She wanted a back jet ski lady, £2 each way, and he talked her out of it, said, don't be ridiculous.
One at 50 to 1.
50 to 1. It was brilliant.
Don't be ridiculous, you'll never get paid.
Well, quite, yeah.
There was that to it.
Kills, who's going to win the Coral Distaff?
Well, I don't think many of these 3-year-olds are all that good. So I would take a chance on the Gosden Maiden winner, Standing Rock. Obviously has got to improve a fair deal, but if you look at these, none of these has actually achieved the level that would win an average running of this. And I think, if that's the case, I'll take the lightly raced possible improver that could be miles better than, it's got a handicap mark of 82, so it's way below a lot of these. But Gosden's straight in a listed race. Don't worry about the handicap mark. I'll take a chance.
Each one the flat 8 or all up to win?
Probably be all up to win until they're going behind, because you never know with these non-runners these days, do you?
I know, there's too many, isn't there? DJ, what do you think will happen here?
I think just the funny thing about Standing Rock, it went. What price did you see the race the first day, Paul?
I did see it. Yes. I can't remember the prices.
It went 119 to 1 on the exchanges. It looked like it just got the penny dropped very late that day.
Yeah.
The one I like is Tis But a Dream, because I just have this feeling that she might just get an easy lead up front. She ran okay. She was 9th to the American thing in the Sandringham, and I thought she ran okay that day. She was banged there 2 furlongs out, but I think Sandown around a turn might suit her better. Sylvester takes the mount for David Ellsworth, and her form is pretty solid. She was 3rd to Laugh Aloud at Epsom, and before that at Ascot she beat Permission, and I thought was a pretty strong fillies handicap that day. She's rated 97. She doesn't have that much in hand. Like, I could never see her being rated 110 or anything like that. But as Paul said, I don't think it's the strongest edition of this race, and she might just get a freebie up front. So yeah, I'm going to go for Tis But a Dream.
You got a strong view, Rob?
Yeah, I was going down through the race, and as sort of Paul said, there was nothing standing out. And then it came to the rank outsider, and I had a look at her form. And I remember when she won at Lingfield, she gave the impression that she might be a filly going the right way. And she's trained by Richard Hannon. Tai Hang Dragon, she's the rank outsider 20 to 1. His fillies are flying, and I just got the impression that she could be one who's just starting to prove herself. And 12 months ago, Richard Hannon won this race with another 20 to 1 shot. So Tai Hang Dragon, lightning strike twice in a really wide open race, and let's hope the 8 run.
Okay, Rob.